If you're planning to buy an iPhone or MacBook in India, you might have to spend a little more very soon. The United States government under Donald Trump has announced reciprocal tariff that will start on April 2nd, 2025. This could make more imported products, including electronics like Apple devices, very expensive in India and possibly in other countries too. These new tariffs are part of Trump's broader plan to impose taxes on imports from countries that already charge high taxes on American goods. Trump has often argued that several nations, including India, have unfair trade practices because they impose higher taxes on the US export while benefiting from lower duties on their own exports to the US. The new reciprocal tariff aimed to fix this imbalance. The tariff is basically a tax that a country charges on imported goods, right? Trump's reciprocal tariff means that the US will now charge the same amount of tax on products coming from the countries as that country charge on American goods. Here, let me give you an example. If India imposes 100% tax on US cars, the US will now impose a similar tax on the products that it imports from India. Trump believes that this will make trade fair for American companies and encourage other countries to lower their tariff on US goods. These tariffs could have significant impact on trade relationship between the US and India, as both countries are key trading partners. India and the US have a huge trade relationship, with India exporting a variety of goods to the US, including electronics, pharmaceuticals, textiles, jewelry, gem, and even automobile parts. On the other hand, the US export goods to India such as aircraft, aviation parts, automobiles, medical equipments, and technological products. However, the US has often raised concern about India's high import duties, particularly on American cars and medical equipments. Trump has repeatedly pointed out that India imposes more than 100% tariff on some US goods, making it difficult for American companies to compete in the Indian market. By implementing reciprocal tariff, the US hopes to pressure India into lowering its import duties, ensuring a more balanced trade system. Even though Donald Trump did not specifically mention electronics in his speech, reports suggest that smartphones, laptops, and other gadgets could be heavily affected. This could be a bad news for Apple and other consumer electronics company that manufactures and exports from India. Apple has been making iPhones in India since 2017, but initially only the cheaper models were produced in the country. Over the years, Apple has expanded production and now even manufacture premium models like iPhone 16 Pro and iPhone 16 Pro Max in India. India has become an important hub for Apple's global supply chain, and the company not only makes iPhone for Indian customers but also exports them to other countries. Now, with Apple planning to make even more devices in India, the new tariff could create challenges for its operations. If the US imposes high taxes on electronics imported from India, companies like Apple could see their cost go really up. This could force them to either increase product price or look for alternative manufacturing locations. If manufacturing cost increases, Apple and other brands may have to raise prices in India and abroad to maintain profitability. This could mean that iPhones and MacBooks could become more expensive not only in the US but also in other international markets. The timing of these tariffs is also very significant because Apple is already facing another 10% tariff on products imported from China into the US. Now, if both China and India face higher taxes, the company's global pricing strategy could be significantly disrupted. For Indian consumers, these tariffs could mean higher prices for Apple devices and other imported electronics. If companies have to pay more in taxes, they might pass on extra cost to the consumers, right? However, companies might also increase local production to avoid high tariff, which could eventually lead to more India-made iPhones and MacBooks in the market. This could help in the long run, but in short term, prices might rise before stabilizing. For Indian manufacturers, the import could be significant as well. Many global companies use India as a manufacturing hub. And if US tariff increase, it could hurt Indian export of electronics and other goods. This might lead to reduced profit for companies that rely on exporting to the US. If manufacturing becomes less attractive due to higher cost, companies might shift production to other countries, which could impact India's growing electronics industry. For global market, the impact could be even bigger. If Apple and other companies face higher taxes in both India and China, their costs will increase, which could lead higher product prices and that too worldwide. Other tech brands like Samsung and Dell, which also manufacture in India, might be affected too. With rising production costs, consumer everywhere could see higher prices on smartphones, laptops, and other electronic goods. Trump's reciprocal tariffs are not just targeting India. Other countries will also be affected, including Canada, Mexico, and China. Recently, the US imposed 25% tariff on Canadian and Mexican imports, while tariff on Chinese goods will be doubled to 20%. After all this, Trump has also hinted that Europe could face similar tariff very soon. These policies are part of larger trade shifts where companies are re-evaluating their import-export strategy and adjusting their economic policies accordingly.